Hello everybody. Hello everybody. My name is Ghost Bunny and I'm going to be reading chapter 6 of KinnPorsche. Now I normally read 2 chapters for every video, but I am going to be trying something new, which means I'm going to be doing 1 chapter per video. Hopefully you guys are okay with that. I also plan on adding more books to my Rastar, or well, books I'm going to be reading. I have to stop trying to say big words. But you guys probably get it. I do want to read more books. I do have planned on reading Heaven Official's Blessing, Stars of Chaos, so on, so on. Yeah. Um, yeah. I don't know. Hopefully you guys are liking my readings and stuff like that, and are enjoying, following along with me. So yeah, if this goes well, then I will continue posting 1 chapter, every time I post a video. I want to have a consistent schedule, pero yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to think it through how I'm gonna do this. But yes, I kind of low-key want to do reactions and do more BL content like I used to. If anyone follows me on my TikTok, which is by the same thing, Ghost Bunny General, you guys probably know that I used to talk more about BLs and stuff like that. Nowadays, I kind of been going through a lot of stuff, but yeah, um, I don't know. For now, I'm just gonna continue reading because I never know what to say, and my brain just absolutely does not like working ever. But yeah. First of all, let me just give my regular disclaimers, and that is that one, this is not a professional audiobook. Technically, I don't even qualify this as an audiobook, porque this is, like I said, not professional. I have no affiliations with Seven Seas or with Beyond Cloud. I have no affiliations with that. This is just me reading for the sake of reading and having fun. I will give commentary from time to time or just add on things because I like getting into the books and stuff like that. If you don't like that, it's gonna be very awkward. Porque that's just how I read. I like, adding a little bit of spice and just having fun and just getting into the characters because I really do I like the book. I'm enjoying this book way too much. I don't know. I love reading. Reading is my passion, if you will. Also, I may be starting to not use gameplay. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try just using my little avatar from now on. I made this PNG tuber kind of thing a while back. I never actually got around to using it, but I will be trying to I made little emojis and everything, like reactions and stuff like that. Like you can see, and you know, these type little like emoticons and stuff like that, so I can have a more emotions and yeah, yeah. eh. But yeah, I'm just showing you guys all the ones I made for now. But I'll see. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with this. But yeah. Also, well, going back to the disclaimers and whatnot, I am not a native Thai speaker. I do not speak Thai whatsoever. That means that any names or words or places that are in this book that obviously will be in Thai, I most likely will mispronounce it. That is not intentional. I'm not trying to make fun of or trying to make a mockery of the Thai language. I am trying to learn Thai because I consider it a very beautiful language. So yes, it's it's something that I genuinely really, really, really like. Like, hopefully one day I get to go, actually read a Thai book. That would be great. Like, imagine that. That would just be wonderful. But yeah, for now, let's just do that. Also, back to the disclaimer. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. Um, Actually, I am a native Spanish speaker. This book is in English. This is an English translation. I don't think there is a Spanish translation, so I'm reading the English translation. That is just me trying to say there's gonna be words in English that I will not be able to pronounce correctly. Yeah. So I already kind of looked ahead a little bit to see kind of you know how it's gonna be so I can know somewhat where the voice will go when I'm reading. So you guys can get a little cinematic experience. Duh. And I realized there's gonna be some words that I'm gonna be tongue-tied porque I have never heard them spoken out loud. Yeah. My English experience is mostly reading, not talking. I'm terrible at talking. This is therapy for me. Enjoy my therapy. I'm just enjoying looking at my avatar jump up and down. Up and down and round. But yeah, let's start reading the book because that's what you guys came here for, and that's what I came here for. I want to know. Yeah, I'm chismosa. So let's start. Chapter 6. We are currently on page 106. Well, actually, no, 105. The title of this chapter is Right or Wrong, to be exact. Right or Wrong. And we are in Porsche's POV. I looked at the document in front of me, my eyes poring over every line under the scrutinizing gaze of the judicious man I first met yesterday. Another tall figure sat opposite to me, with his arms crossed over his chest. Turning his sulking face over from me was Kinn. Ooh. Yeah! His arrogant attitude irritated me so much that I wanted to grab the vase from the table in front of me and smash it over his head. I finally gave in to Kinn's father and accepted his offer. He was very persuasive. He was eloquent and respectful, and I could tell that he was a businessman. Mr. Korn, Kinn's father, understood precisely how to buy my cooperation. So here, I was back in the same house as yesterday. Their house was enormous, with luxurious decor adorning every space, and men in black suits constantly buzzing about. I realized my initial assumption about Kinn was far off the mark. I'd originally assumed his father was a run-of-the-mill gang. Well, his family was a run-of-the-mill gang that just owned a gambling house or some sports betting sites. But from what I was seeing, now they were probably big-time casino owners or even international arm dealers. If you agree with everything, just sign here, Mr. Korn said. Just thinking about what I was about to do made me queasy. Laughing. I was about to, yeah, made me queasy. It was very thorough. It even I looked over the contract. Sorry, I skipped ahead. Just thinking about what I was about to do made me queasy. I looked over the contract one more time. It was very thorough. It even specified who my beneficiary would be in the event of my death. The contract also covered the terms and conditions, the times I could access this house, and the times I could leave, security measures for checking weapons, and the contract's duration. The current contract specified that I must work for at least 1 year. The current contract specified that I must work for at least 1 year. There will be a penalty fee of 200,000 baht for a premature termination of the contract. I was entitled to 2 days leave per month, and I could work I could work any day of the week as long as it added up to 5 days a week in total. The work schedule was the part that I had a problem with. About my work schedule. I'm currently a university student, so I can't fulfill this arrangement, I said calmly, pointing my pen to the relevant section of the contract. That's not a problem. You can work night shifts. I can choose the time. The bodyguards here work around the clock. The morning shift is 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and the night shift is 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Damn it, I read it wrong. I should have read that in Pei-chan's voice. Damn. The bodyguards here work around the clock. The morning shift is 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and the night shift is 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., explained Pei-chan, Mr. Korn's secretary. Damn. Was this a bodyguard job or a convenience store gig? I hadn't realized this work would be, a 12-hour shift. It was absurd to think that Kinn needed a bodyguard around the clock. Was someone gonna break in this place at night to assassinate him in his sleep? If I work nights and go to classes during the day, when will I sleep? I said. Matter of fact, I was only human. I needed time to rest. So fucking fussy, Kinn spat. I glared at him. He thought it was that easy? Show me how you do, asshole. Kinn said you were a bartender, yes? Mr. Corn asked. I worked only from 7 at night to 2 in the morning. I got to go home and sleep before class the next day. I explained. Madam Yoke's place had never, was never overly busy. I mean, usually closed around like 2, maybe. Not to mention I only worked there for like from Tuesday to Sunday. Well, I mean Thursday to Sunday. The rest of the week I gotta relax at home. When do you usually have a full day of class? Mr. Corn asked. Monday to Tuesday. On Thursday and Friday, I only have class in the afternoon. I answered Mr. Corn politely because I felt a bit intimidated by him. Like he looked like a very nice guy, but I don't know. Something told me like, I don't know. I was telling the truth though. Tim was the one who, registered me for all my classes. He said I should rest on the weekends, so he made me take most of my classes from Monday to Wednesday. Then you can work from Thursday to Sunday. Father! Kinn looked at his father with slight disapproval. You don't need to cater to him. When Kinn turned and shot me a hostile look, I stared straight back at him. Just listen to me first, said Mr. Corn. You can work Thursday to Sunday, but I want you to work from 10 a.m. to midnight on the weekends to make up for the lost time. I contemplated his offer for a moment, trying to figure out if there was a catch. I actually prefer to work nights since it, out to be less of a hassle. Kinn wouldn't be out and about at night often, right? Still need to think on it. I'm already willing to pay you handsomely, considering I'm on the losing end of our bargain. What exactly do I need to do as a bodyguard anyways? I asked. I still couldn't see what was expected of me after reading through the contract. Did they want me to follow Kinn around and give anyone, give anyone who dared to get close to him a menacing look? Did I just need to, tag along no matter where he went? You need to be with him at all times, to make sure no one harms him. That was Corn's secretary, not Corn. Damn, I read in Corn's voice. Never mind. You may need to assist him at home once in a while. I furrowed my brows, in confusion. Assist him? How? Help him look through work documents, make sure he eats, help him get dressed, help him with his university assignments, fetch him what he wants. That sort of thing. He's still in school? I figured he was ripe for the retirement home. I snickered. Suddenly it dawned on me. Although tailing Kinn for, protection seemed like a typical bodyguard gig, the rest of my responsibilities made it seem like I was his personal attendant. Am I a bodyguard or a servant? I blurted out before I could stop myself. Mr. Corn chuckled while his secretary cleared his throat and gave me a disappointed look. I knew I'd said the wrong thing. Stop being so demanding, said Kinn. Father, just get rid of him. I've had enough. Fine. You know what? I didn't even want to do this in the first place, I retorted, equally annoyed. I ignored his heated glare and dropped the pen on the contract, then leaned back with my arms crossed over my chest. This is giving me a headache, Mr. Corn said with a heavy sigh. You specifically asked to be Kinn's head bodyguard. Naturally, that comes with more responsibilities. Okay, but what is wrong with these mafia people? Are they a bunch of helpless piss babies? Why do they need an army of lackeys to wait on them hand and foot? Do I need to wipe Kinn's ass for him too? Maybe eat it, but I don't think you're gonna have to wipe it. It's not that bad. Your main task is to keep Kinn safe and look after him an appropriate amount. I still couldn't work on how much servitude was appropriate. I felt like I was getting tricked into being Kinn's butler. The bodyguard thing seemed like it was actually nothing more than a fancy title. Silence fell over the room as I sat there deep in thought. All eyes were on me, awaiting for my answer. except for Kinn, who stared so intensely at the wall it looked like he might burn a hole into it. Here, your property and mortgage deeds. My eyes widened when another secretary sitting at the corner of the table pulled out a thick folder and placed it in front of me. Mr. Corn will return the deed to your house after you agree and sign the contract, he said. I had to admit the deal was tempting. I kept looking back and forth between the mortgage deed and the binding contract. In the end, I gave it one last look before surrendering, honestly. I sighed and picked up the pen. I dropped earlier to sign my name on the paper. With every stroke of the pen, I told myself I had to be making the right decision, right? I looked up after I was finished signing and was met with smiles from Mr. Corn and his secretaries. The older man took the document, finalizing it with his signature before returning everything to me. One thought did pop in my head, though. Once I had the property deed back in my hands, if I ran away, would they hunt me down and, kill me? I was pulled back from my errant thoughts when Mr. Corn plucked the contract from my hand to examine something. Bachata? It means diamond, right? He said, looking from the paper to me. You have a good name. And good facial features. What are you, like some sort of fortune teller? I hadn't meant to, rile him up. Still, the indifferent tone of my voice and my blazed manner made it seem like I was trying to provoke him. Like, I swear I didn't do that on purpose. All eyes turned sharply towards me as if I had done something unforgivable. In reality, I was merely curious. Have some manners, his secretary said, eyeing me with a severe expression. Mr. Corn is your boss now. Watch your mouth. What the hell? Were these people so high and mighty that you had to walk on eggshells around them? Forget about it. You can start tomorrow, Mr. Corn said, with a chuckle. What? Tomorrow? That's so soon, I protested. Do you need your father to perform a ribbon-cutting ceremony first or something? Kinn said, sounding sour. Go to fucking hell, I growled under my breath as I locked my eyes with Kinn's. John, show him to his room, Mr. Corn told his secretary. Maybe if I relax for a minute, this goddamn headache... Maybe if I relax for a minute, this goddamn headache will go away. With that, Mr. Corn left with Kinn. I gulped. I was now alone with that man named Chan, who looked several years older than me, to be exact. He remained silent as he urged me to follow him through the house. Yeah, where are we going? Where are you taking me? I asked P-chan, as I tried to keep up with him, holding the folder containing my property deed at my side. The size of this place was impressive. It featured a magnificent foyer, a spacious dining room, various offices, and a number of mysterious rooms with no discernible purpose. We'd been walking around this house for what felt like an eternity, but there was still no sign of, reaching the end. P-chan finally stopped and turned to answer me. I'm taking you to your room, he said. What room? The room you're gonna be staying at? Is that really necessary? Like, can't I just stay at my place and show up here when I have to work? I asked. The notion of staying here made me feel even more like a servant. Were these people, fucking with me? Was the whole bodyguard gig just like an elaborate ruse? Like, haha, where are the cameras? Every guard here has his own quarters. It means you can head straight to university with Mr. Kinn after your night shift. I rejected that idea outright. Huh? Who said I'd do that? Didn't you go to the same university as Mr. Kinn? I don't know, I replied. I vaguely remembered something about that. so I didn't see any reason why I had to go with him. Anyway, just sleep here when you work. Try not to cause any trouble. We don't appreciate, you know, nuisances around here, P-chan said. His tone of voice, and the set of his eyes told me he was serious. If I hadn't been outnumbered here, I wouldn't have put up with being glared at like that. Hell, was this place a house or a prison? Why were there so many rules? It's giving me flashbacks. Certain flashbacks, Hmm? Fine, but I won't stay here on my days off, I grumbled. Suit yourself. P-chan shrugged me off, his indifferent demeanor becoming more irritating by the minute. My frustration built up to the point where I felt like unleashing chaos in this place. Jeez. I wouldn't consider my staring contest, wait, sorry. I would have I would have continued my staring contest with P-chan if we hadn't been interrupted by someone calling P-chan's name. P-chan, where are you going? Master, P-chan replied, bowing gracefully to a tall, lean man in casual clothes. He smiled broadly as he drew closer. He bore an uncanny resemblance to Kinn, except that this man looked younger and quite frankly, friendlier. Who's this? The newcomer asked, pointing in my direction. He looked more cheerful than the sullen bodyguard trailing behind him. Oh, this is Mr. Kinn's newly appointed head bodyguard, P-chan replied politely before turning to me. Porsche, meet Mr. Tan-kun, Mr. Kinn's elder brother. I raised my eyebrows in surprise before scrutinizing the appearance of this man, named Tan-kun. If no one had told me, I might have mistaken him for the younger brother. It seemed Kinn just looked way older than he really was. Tan-kun rushed to grab my tattooed arm. Whoa! This is so cool! He even has a tattoo, it's so badass! He exclaimed in awe. I stood there utterly dumbfounded as he raised my arm, turning it left and right to inspect my tattoo from different angles. What the hell? Oh man, this is so dope! I want my guards to get tats too. It'd make them look so handsome as hell, Tanku said excitedly. With a serious expression, he turned to his bodyguards. Hey, all of you, go get tattoos tomorrow. Get one exactly like this. I like it. I saw the color drain from his bodyguard's face at the absurd order. This dude was crazy. Loki liked him. Master, P-chan warned, his voice firm and low. Tankun released my arm immediately. He muttered something to himself and walked away. His entourage trailed behind him. What just happened? Like, I'm lost. Come on, let's go, P-chan told me. He let out an audible sigh of exhaustion before continuing to lead the way, sorry. We exited through the back door of the main residence, where we were met by a series of townhouses that served as living quarters for the bodyguards. The structures appeared freshly constructed and well maintained, surrounded by towering trees that provided ample shade. Were these people really that invested in the well-being of their lackeys? P-chan unlocked the house at the far end and I stepped through the door after him. I was surprised by how spacious this place was. It was similar to like a student dorm, featuring an attached bathroom, a bed with a metal frame, and a simple mattress, and a slightly worn-out dresser. There were no pillows or beddings yet, but what that room did have was air conditioner, and well, we were still in Thailand, and how do I tell you? Thai heat is heavy, but yeah. I don't believe it, I muttered to myself in amazement. I thought I'd be sleeping in a shabby room with just a blanket and a pillow. and an old standing fan like something out of a movie. I put the folder containing the deed to my house in the mattress before continuing to check out the place. You're lucky. The previous owner, he installed an air conditioner, P-chan added. Where's he now? I asked. Dead. His answer shocked me. I started his face trying to work out if, it was a joke. But he remained indifferent. I was kind of hoping he was just trying to, mess with the newbie, but it didn't look like it. Shit! Did he really expect me to sleep in a room that belonged to a dead man? I swallowed hard. A slight chill creeping down my spine. Maybe afraid of ghosts. I attempted to ignore what P. Chan had just told me. The room didn't seem haunted. You know what? Fuck it. I thought, I can sleep here. I wouldn't be staying overnight that often anyways. P. Chan tossed the key for the room on the table and signaled for me to follow him back outside. Big, P. Chan yelled, scolding, yeah. Big grudgingly made his way over to us. I wondered if anyone worked here ever felt happy. Like, they all seemed perpetually sullen, as if someone was constantly hurling shit their way. Maybe there was a rule banning bodyguards from smiling. Yes, P-chan. Big asked. He glanced at me as he waited to see what P-chan wanted from him. His attitude pissed me off, to be honest with you. He treated me with the same shitty demeanor yesterday. Just wait. It's your turn next, you fuck. I want you to show Porsche around. Get him familiarized with the place. I'll go check on the boss. Yeah, I ain't interested. Go bother someone else. They blatantly refused, sneering at me. I snorted in response. I understood why he hated my guts, but okay, I did just take over his job, to be fair. But in my defense, I am so pretty. I can kiss myself. This guy is my subordinate, right? I casually remarked, prompting a glower from Big. I still don't know how to pronounce that. I should have Googled it. Yes. Sorry. Yes, this is Big, one of Mr. Kinn's trusted bodyguards. You should really get to know each other. How about I leave you two alone, Bonding time? It sounds like a good idea. P-chan said with a tone of sarcasm, right before making a swift exit. Homeboy ran. I stood there, smirking contentedly with my arms folded confidently over my chest. Big glared back at me, his tenacious gaze unwavering. What the hell are you staring at? He snapped. I maintained my smirk, offering no response. Don't assume we'll sorry. My voice. Don't assume we'll accept you as our leader just because it's what Mr. Korn wants, he declared, striding forward until he was a hair's breadth away from my face, but I stood my ground and I stared at him. We won't submit to the likes of you. Don't get too cocky. What's your point? I scoffed. You're not welcome here. Funny. Yeah, you know what? Look around. I'm here. Wow. I'm still here. Cry about it. Attempt tears, please. I shrugged, well aware that my nonchalant attitude would only piss him off more. Okay? I know that you will never be loyal. Sooner or later, you're gonna betray my boss. I leaned forward, my tone dripping with mockery. And fail. I saw his body tremble with anger, his hand clenched into a fist. I scoffed at him. Maybe he'd forgotten that his boss wanted mm, moi, moi, okay? Like, he wanted me to work for him so badly that he'd turn over every rock to find me. I couldn't be knocked down that easily. I definitely evaded the incoming punch. The moments The momentum of Big's swing sent him off balance, and he stumbled forward in frustration. He roared and tried to hit me again. Seizing the opportunity, I raised my foot to deliver a powerful kick to his gut, sending him skating backwards until he collided with the wall. I crushed my foot against his chest, preventing him from making any further moves. "Screw you!" Big yelled. "Hmm. No wonder Kinn needs a new head bodyguard," I said. "You're pretty mediocre." Hmm. Big managed to break free from my grasp and tried to lunge at me again. But I swiftly blocked his punch and twisted his arm behind his back, forcing him down. I kept him firmly pinned to the ground with my knees as he thrashed and swore loudly. With my free hand I leisurely retrieved my cigarette from my jean pocket, lit it up, and indulged in a long drag. Big kept shouting curses at me. "Damn it! Get off me! Just wait until I break free. I'll kill you!" "Oh, please go ahead and try." I scoffed casually, enjoying my cigarette until it burned out. I flicked it to the ground, stubbing it out with my foot, and standing back from Big. I was ready to walk away, thinking I had taught him a lesson. I couldn't have been more wrong. Like, he never learned. The sound of rapidly approaching footsteps from behind me caught my attention. I ducked quickly as a whooshing sound went past my ear. Big staggered forward, brandishing a thick piece of wood. Apparently, some lessons were very hard to learn, and if you're big, even more. Ooh. I'm right now looking at an image. I'll put a picture here. Oh my god. The artist here is so good. I tried to look for the artist last time. I couldn't find it. If anyone knows where I can find the artist, it's so good. Like legitimately, you're probably looking at the image right now, but Porsche looks so good. The art is so good. Everything here is so good. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Back to the regular schedule reading. I sent him stumbling to the floor with a forceful kick, following it with a punch that left his mouth bloody. I startled him, unleashing a barrage of blows with no intention of relenting. I'd been planning, to let him off the hook, but it looked like we were past that point. I was blinded by rage. I would have killed him if someone, hadn't stopped me. Chaos erupted as forceful hands tried to pry me off of Big, whose face was now swollen and bruised. "Stop! What the hell's going on?" The bodyguards who'd witnessed the entire incident were shouting in my direction. But, I was the victim here. He attacked me. What the fuck? A few of them rushed to intervene, separating me from Big before dragging us to another location. They swung open a large wooden door and forcefully unsheared us into the room. There was no need to guess whose room it was. I saw a familiar imposing figure lounging on the sofa, engrossed in the TV. "These two got into a scuffle, sir," one of the bodyguards reported. I wrenched free and shot Kinn a piercing glare. He glanced at us with indifference before returning his attention to whatever he was watching. Lo que callamos las mujeres. "Mr. Kinn, he picked a fight with me." Damn, your voice changed. Fuck. You were there, pussy. My head snapped towards Big as he fumbled for words. It wasn't surprising to discover that he wasn't just a sore fucking loser, but a fucking snitch too, pussy. "Causing problems before you even start, huh?" Kinn asked under his breath, not even bothering to look at us. "Coward. Pussy," I muttered directly to Big, whose face contoured into agony as he clutched his stomach. What kind of man tried to shift the blame by pointing his finger at somebody else? with baby behavior. Go to hell, Vic snapped back. Put a lid on it. You never know when you might need the extra energy, I jeered. Clang. The noise of Kinn flinging his remote control at the coffee table made me jump. My hands rested lightly on my hips. I don't know why I say hips. He's always I don't know why I said lip. He normally has his hands on his hips. That's a Porsche quality. You know what Porsche? His hands are firmly on those sexy Chiquita-like lips. Hips. I can't talk. But yeah, his hands were on his hip as I watched him stand up and approach. He's his steely gaze reminded me of yesterday when he stared me down and squeezed his hand tightly around my neck in a non-sexual, non-consensual way. I averted my eyes. I could admit to myself that I was afraid of him. His intense gaze seemed like it could overwhelm me. We don't tolerate disruption here, and this is no place for you to be a show-off. I wasn't showing off. Your guy started it. Kinn looked skeptically between the two of us. Vic was disheveled, while I was completely unruffled. Do you know what I'll do if you disregard my warning? He said in his voice, all cold-like. I gulped, unease settling in as his eyes darted to my neck. The fingerprint bruises he'd left and the lingering pain there served as a stark reminder of what had happened yesterday. I maintained a stoic silence. Don't forget who I am, Kinn said. You should know to speak to me with respect, okay? Why should I? I shot back. I'll speak to you however I like, okay? Like go fuck yourself. Kinn took a step forward, and I instinctively retreated. I'm warning you, he grunted. Why don't you just fire me then? I retorted. Despite my fear of Kinn, my sharp tongue managed to get the better of me. Nah. See, I won't let you go that easily. You'll work for me, Kinn said, closing the distance between us, until our faces were mere inches apart. Until I'm thoroughly satisfied. I turned my face away so Kinn wouldn't notice my nervousness. What are you gonna do? Get here on time tomorrow, Kinn said, smirking. I struggled to swallow the lump in my throat as I watched him saunter away. Screw you, I muttered under my breath as his retreating figure, I should start reading slower. Damn it. I despised his arrogance. I hated how he looked down on everyone. Unable to endure the oppressive atmosphere any longer, I stormed out. Had I made the right decision? I went back to my quarters for my property deed before rushing to my motorcycle parked next to the house. Hopping on my bike, I sped up to fetch Chay from his friend's place. There was another challenge I had to face today. I had to figure out how I was gonna tell my younger brother I had to figure out how to tell my younger brother how I managed to, get our house back. Can I tell him I just sucked dick or something? Jeez. Back at home. As we stepped into our home, Chay asked me right on cue, like it was planned and everything. He read the script. Yeah. Okay, how did you get our house back? Well, I borrowed some money from Madam Yoke, Tem, and John. Look, I obviously lied. I wasn't ready to tell him the truth just yet. I knew he'd pitch a fit if he knew. I flicked on the light and proceeded to tidy up, the things scattered all over the floor. I hadn't returned to our place since, the whole incident that night. Yeah, Chay grumbled, his voice low and full of caution. He's stared at me, with his arms folded over his chest, attempting to get my attention. What? I responded, still making a big show of cleaning up, putting everything, back in its place. I had a hunch that my brother might have seen right through me, like a full-on open book. Yeah, he knew me way too well. The two of us is all we have, Chay started. I sighed in defeat. I waited for him to continue, focusing on tidying up our living room. You and I are very close, he said. You know, I can tell when you're lying to me. I closed my eyes, taking a deep, calming breath before turning to face him. My gaze met Chay's as I attempted to conjure up an explanation for my decision that wouldn't upset him. You did it, didn't you? Chay's voice quavered, a look of disappointment sweeping across his face. You took their offer. Yeah, I mumbled, confirming his suspicion. Why? Why would you do that? He shouted, his hands abruptly gripping my arms, and squeezing them tightly. Chay, everything I did, it was for you. If that was true, then why wouldn't you have listened to me? Why wouldn't you would have listened to what I said? The sight of tears welling in Chay's eyes, his trembling lips pressing together, shattering my heart. I felt so ashamed that I'd let my brother down. Listening, listen, we're all we have. What will I do if something happens to you? Chay's voice softened, tears finally trickling down his face. A weight settled in my chest as I listened to him, burning my heart with guilt. My brother, the person I cared for the most in this world, was distraught because of me. I'm sorry. I promise you I'll be okay, I whispered, attempting to place my hand on Chay's head in tender reassurance. My brother swiped my hand away. I'll be so angry if anything happens to you. I won't forgive you. And I pulled Chay into a tight embrace before he could finish speaking. He'd never shown this kind of vulnerability to me before. While we didn't express our affection openly with each other, we both understood how much we cared for each other. After all, we were all we had in this world. I swear I'll be okay, I said. I won't die that easily. His fist struck my back with a resounding thud. His other hand clutched my shirt tightly. Don't do it, he sobbed. Please. I avoided his eyes, struggling to conceal my emotions. I didn't want my younger brother to see that I felt just as torn up inside as he did. Chay, I'll never leave you. Trust me, please. I hugged him tighter, desperately, hoping that my brother could hear the sincerity in my words. I wouldn't let anything take me away from him. I would always remain by his side. A silence enveloped us, and I continued embracing my brother until I felt a light nudge from him. Chay looked up at me, his eyes puffy and tinged with red, a sad sight on my beloved brother. You really have to do it then? He asked. Yeah. If you die, I'll dig you up. I'll dig you up just to tell you off, okay? I won't burn any offerings for you. You'll go hungry in the afterlife, and your spirit will be able to move on. A smile crept across my lips as I listened to my younger brother sternly threaten me. I know, I replied. Mom always said I have strong luck. I won't go down that easily. You don't need to worry. I'll stick around working and making money for you to burn until you're sick of me. I tried to crack a joke to lighten the situation, playfully ruffling my brother's hair, despite his persistent pout. I could sense that he wasn't upset anymore. You swear? Yup. Then Can I snag some money for online gambling? I mean gaming? Jeez. Damn, can't you wait like a micro moment? Like we're having a moment. Ah, you little shit. I snorted gently, jostling his head out of fondness. I really appreciated him joking back at me, even as his face still shone with tears. I pledged not to let anything harm me, and to never cause my brother pain again. I promised I would do anything, no matter how challenging, to ensure Chay's happiness. I would not give up, and I would not die. Thursday. I let out a sigh. I was beginning to second guess my decision to take this job. After finishing class for the afternoon, I got on my bike and headed to the residence. I'd visited 2 days in a row now. It seemed I would be frequent. It seemed I'd be a frequent guest. Okay, jeez, I'm all gassy now. What the fuck? It seemed I would be a frequent guest here from now on. I rode around the premise at least 3 times, trying to work up the nerves to face Kinn. I knew the path ahead would not be easy. I still couldn't decide. Had I made the right or wrong decision? Dun dun dun. There was no dun 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 moment, but I still wanted to. Boom. Yeah, okay. I finished chapter 6. Remember, I'm just reading one chapter in this video just to check just to see if I like this new format or I'll go back to the one I had previously. But oh yeah, if you guys have been enjoying my readings and enjoying, the book or whatnot, or if you don't like this new format, please tell me in the comments. But oh yeah, next video will probably be me reading Heaven Official's Blessing, but do not worry, I will immediately come back and read the next chapters because I really am enjoying this book. I just want to, start reading the other books as well and just start adding them to this channel. Pero yeah, like I said, if you guys have been liking my readings, if you guys have been enjoying these videos, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys have not been keeping up, I do have a playlist, so if you guys have missed any chapters, you guys could easily find it on the playlist. I don't know what else to say. Bye, I guess. Yeah, bye.